are here today with Megha Tiwari, and so excited to have you back for a second time. I really appreciate you re-recording this. The first time was we had some technical difficulties, so I really apologize and appreciate you coming back on and talking with us about your experience working with Rialto. So welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Anytime I get to chat with you is great. So my pleasure.
I know we could talk about jewelry all day long, you and I, for sure. Um, if you just want to start, maybe tell us how you got into the jewelry industry.
Sure. So I took kind of a winding road. So I started in the legal profession and realized that it wasn't for me pretty early on. So I left and I just started like dabbling more into like hobbies and creative interests, and jewelry was always a passion of mine, something I've been doing since I was a kid. So and never really felt like it was the practical or like the smart thing to do, career wise. So I kind of like found my way back eventually, and I'm so happy that I did. And I started with like no formal education in the industry or, contacts or anything like that. So I kind of started from scratch, which was wild. And now that I think back on it, I'm like, what was I thinking? But, I made it, and I'm so happy that I persevered and I kept on with it. So I started like 2022, kind of like just researching manufacturers and partners that I could work with, and then starting with prototypes and samples all here in the US is how I started. And then I met you in 2023. I heard you on Tracy Matthews' podcast and was like, this is exactly the solution that I'm looking for. So we started working together. And so, yeah, I guess I've been now doing this for almost 2 years.
It's great. It's great that you followed your passion and your intuition. You went against the grain, but I think that those are the kind of people that are great at being entrepreneurs, and so we need more people like you for sure. So yeah, definitely. Let's go back a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience when you were working with other people before you met us in the US?
Yeah, so I was working with a few different manufacturers, some here in California, some in Detroit, some in New York, and it was really interesting because I think they work with a really high MOQ because they work with probably a lot of larger companies, and I was obviously on the smaller side, like just starting out. So that was interesting. And then I also experienced so many things like timeline delays, communication problems, like just speaking to someone or even emailing with someone was quite difficult. And I had to reach out like multiple times to get an answer on like, how's my order going? Or like, what's the estimated delivery timeline? Like, it was so difficult every step of the process. And obviously nothing is made small batch, like everything is mass produced, a lot of the places here in the US. So many quality issues, so many, things that I had to send back or just like didn't end up working out. And then, yeah, the response time and not being able to speak to someone. So there were many challenges in those early days. And I just didn't know enough about the industry, like have enough contacts to know like what to say or where to go at that time. So I was kind of like, oh, this is just normal. This is just how it is. And, now I know better, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.